I want to welcome you to this episode of Business Bites. I am Kim Santini. I have been a working artist for 25 years now, and as a way of paying back all those who supported me when I was first getting started, I have decided to begin a short series of videos that focus on tips for the working artist. Today, I want to talk to you about gallery relationships. Working with a gallery is akin to hiring a team to help sell your work. A gallery isn't just interviewing you to see if you're a fit for them. You are also interviewing them to see if they reflect you and your work ethic, along with your attitude. You want to know or learn if your work shows well in context with the other artists who are part of that gallery. You're going to learn if the space is attractive and inviting or perhaps carries other elements that you value. And you also want to take a look at their contract and make certain that their contract is suitable for how you operate. So what does a gallery do? Well, a gallery is going to display your work in a professional manner. They are educated about your process, and they're going to be able to speak on your behalf to their clients. A gallery will market and promote your work inside the context of their business and events. They also will typically insure your work while it is contractually in their possession. A gallery will close and process sales of art. They will do any necessary fulfillment like shipping or personal delivery. They will make certain that their client is satisfied with their purchase. And a gallery will pay their artists on time with the appropriate supporting documentation. Okay, so now we know what a gallery does. What is the artist's role in an artist-gallery relationship? An artist's role is to create work consistently of a particular caliber or level, and maybe even a particular style. The artist delivers work professionally finished per the terms of their contract in a timely manner or as promised. An artist will responsibly respond to all gallery communication. And while this is optional, it's also very highly respected that an artist will help cross-promote their relationship with the space, the venue, or the group. So now that we know what the gallery's role is and what the artist's role is, let's talk a little bit about situational things or how things settle out in this relationship. Galleries will approach an artist and ask for a specific volume of art over a period of time. They will let you know what their expectations are with regards to how much art they think they're going to be able to sell on your behalf, as well as their physical capacity to hang or display or promote your work. There may also be other parameters in place, like size expectations. They may say that they want a certain size range of pieces, or they may even ask for a particular subject matter. Your job is to listen to what they want and then ask yourself, examine whether or not you can realistically deliver this work in addition to all the other responsibilities and commitments that you've made. Also, ascertain if they want you to physically attend the events that they have scheduled occasionally, and is this even feasible for you? There may be costs involved in time and both expense to travel to a particular gallery location. Galleries may ask for the work you send their way to be framed in a particular style. So it's important that you know what your cost is to acquire these frames, assemble them, and deliver the work per the gallery's expectations. If the gallery is too far logistically for you to personally deliver your work, you're going to need to be aware of the shipping costs for delivery of that inventory. Typically, the arrangement is that the artist pays to get the work to the gallery. So this is going to become a business cost for you. Oftentimes, the contract will state that the gallery is responsible for delivering unsold work back to the artist. But not all galleries are the same, so you want to make sure you read that contract really carefully. So gallery contracts are going to outline a commission that the gallery earns. Gallery earns this commission or a percentage on every piece of art that they sell for you. There may also be additional fees involved in promoting events or specialized targeted advertising. These things will be delineated and outlined in the contract, so make sure you look for that. Really want you to do the math before you sign or agree to any sort of relationship. Do the math so that you understand what your cost is to participate in this relationship. You've got your framing, you have your shipping, and you have a commission that you're paying the gallery to sell work with them. Is this worthwhile? What is this going to bring your business? You really want to measure this. You want to analyze and measure this, okay? It's really easy to feel super flattered when a gallery approaches you and wants to work together, but it is a business relationship and you need to set your emotions aside and you need to look at the bottom line and how this is going to impact you, because you do not want to enter contractually into a relationship that's going to end up costing you to be a part of it, okay? Now, as an employee or an extension of your team, galleries actually earn the commission on the sales they generate. They work incredibly hard to make those sales on your behalf. So, and here's the thing, in today's world with the internet, we meaning artists, have the opportunity to do our own marketing and sell direct to the client. We know what's involved in that marketing and the promotion and the engagement and starting those conversations and all the follow-up. When we make a sale, a direct sale to a collector, we're essentially paying ourselves a commission for doing that work. So when you think about the fact that the gallery is stepping in and taking that burden of work, marketing and promotional work away from you, they've absolutely earned that commission that they get to receive upon the sale of your work. Another point that I want to make sure you consider is that your prices need to be the same across the board, regardless of where they are or who is selling them. This means that bumping prices higher to accommodate fees or commissions involved in a particular exhibition or opportunity is a no-no. That is a rookie mistake. You do not want to do that. If someone can go into a gallery space and view your work, view a painting of yours there, and then go to your website and see that you have similar works for a lower price online, you have just completely undermined your relationship with the gallery, with the exhibition space. No space or curator will take on representation in these circumstances. And on top of that, no buyer is going to trust that your prices are fair market value either. So your prices have to be the same across the board. This means that when you're looking at your cost analysis of the shipping and the framing and the commission and how much profit you're going to make on a sale of a piece through a gallery, you may want to consider waiting until your work is at a certain pricing level before you enter into a gallery relationship in order to end up making money at the end. Also, here's another point. If a buyer comes to you and they say they found your work through a gallery space and they want to buy direct, you do have an obligation to pay that gallery a finder's fee. Some galleries are writing this into their contracts right now. Others are working on the honor system. So it isn't really a formalized sort of thing inside gallery artist relationships yet. But again, with the advent of the internet, the whole relationship between galleries and artists is being redefined. And at the most, you want to show up and you want to act as ethically and professionally as possible, because this represents your work on the market and this is your reputation. Paying a finder's fee is a great way to tell a gallery that you really trust and value your relationship and you want to continue working together. Here's a tip. Never leave your work anywhere without a signed contract and an inventory sheet. I don't care about the circumstances. I don't care, any of the parameters of this. This is your work. It has intrinsic value, and you're not going to leave it in anybody else's hands without a signed contract and an inventory sheet. And this includes when you're doing a pop-up installation in a non-gallery space like a coffee shop or a library or any sort of other exhibition where you are leaving your work. With informal with informal installations like coffee shops or other community spaces, that contract can be as simple as an email between the two spaces, between the responsible party at that other space and yourself. Make certain you know who is responsible to keep the art safe. Make certain you facilitate any conversations or know who is going to facilitate any conversations about the work, who is responsible for processing sales, and are there any fees involved in doing so? Juried exhibitions are included in this whole bit of advice about not leaving your work without a contract. The prospectus or call for entry in a juried event is going to outline these details along with any other material that they expect from you. They'll send all of this upon the acceptance into the event. So your delivery and signature of work upon delivery means that you are totally on board with their parameters. And I'm going to re-recording that sentence. Okay. This is so important because the opportunities for a variety of different types of exhibitions are really rising, and this is a good thing for artists because we have more opportunity to get our work out into the world. But the thing is that when we have an informal installation that is going into something like a coffee shop or a community space, we still need to make sure that our artwork is protected. And while we're not going to draw up a formal contract under those circumstances, we can cover those bases with clear written communication using a channel such as email. You want to have a line of communication between the party in that space that is responsible for your work and yourself, and you both want to sign off on that so that you know and totally understand what each other's responsibilities are. You're going to find out who is responsible to keep the artwork safe. You are going to find out if the artwork is insured while on site. You want to know if there is someone in that space who is able to speak on your behalf about the artwork. If not, you might want to create some signage or other material to go along with the art. You want to know if someone comes in and wants to purchase an art, do they have the capacity to sell it right there? Or is that party going to need to reach out to you? And if so, again, you're going to want to have material available for any interested clients to make it as easy as possible for them to acquire your art or begin a conversation with you. There may also be some fees involved in hanging your work in a space, in a non-traditional gallery space. So get all of that outlined in writing ahead of time before you deliver your work. And when you deliver your work, you're going to do so with a copy of all of that correspondence, a copy of your inventory, and everyone involved is going to sign and date that. So, I want to point out that, participating in a juried exhibition or a one-time gallery event or show is also included in this, in my advice to never leave your artwork without a contract. Juried exhibitions and gallery shows come with a prospectus or a call for entry. And those documents outline exactly what that space is or events expectations are from the artist, as well as exactly what they're going to deliver. Take an opportunity to really read that prospectus and learn whether or not your work is going to be insured. Learn exactly what the commission rate is that you will be paying on any sales that happen during that event. Learn exactly how your work needs to be labeled when you deliver it. And when you deliver artwork to these events, you're asked to sign off on an inventory sheet. Your signing off on that inventory sheet means that you are accepting the terms and conditions that were laid out in that call for entry. So really make certain that you understand what is happening around the parameters of your work when you leave it in another space, okay? Now, I have a few practices that I use myself when I am approached by a new gallery, and I'm going to share those with you. First off, check your ego, forget about the zip code the gallery is in, forget about the gallery name. Again, this is a relationship that you are starting with someone who could potentially become one of your biggest team players in the future. So you really want to go in with a clear head, and you want to examine some of the following things. Look at their website. Okay, in this day and age, if a gallery doesn't have a website, you really need to understand why. If it's a huge blue chip gallery, perhaps they don't need a website because they use other marketing tools to reach their clients. But the bulk of galleries out in the world today will have a website. They will have a very robust website with imagery of installations, with information about their space, with a calendar of future events, with contact information for them, and often they will list and have samples of the artwork and the artists that they represent. So take a good look at their website, make certain it is professional. Also take a look at their social media presence. Most spaces today have a social media presence, at least on Instagram. Selling art is a very visual thing, and Instagram is a great platform for visual content. So a lot of artists, or a lot of galleries, lean into Instagram in particular as a platform for expanding their audience. Find out what their social media presence is like. How often do they post? What sort of engagement do they get? Do they have additional links available inside their profile? Follow through on those and see what sort of content you're able to unearth, and what other kind of information you can learn about the gallery. Google for news items. This is a great one because often a gallery space is approaching you from another geographic location, and so you're not familiar with what's happening in that downtown community or area. So Googling the gallery and looking for news items is a great way to get a pulse on what is happening in their area and how involved they are in their community. And also you can gauge the tone of any sort of news features or press that they've gotten just based on the voice of the journalist or the media representative who is speaking about the art. I also really like to reach out to 2 or 3 artists that the gallery currently works with, and I ask for a referral. Now, I realize that these artists are under a contract with the gallery, and they may be contractually obligated to not disclose certain things. But really, I'm not asking them to tell me the intimate details of their relationship with the space. I really just want to know things like their communication style. How often does a gallery update you on what's happening? How receptive are they to new work? How long does it take them to respond? You know, am I better off calling them directly? Should I send an email? Are they more responsive with text? Do they pay on time? These are some really basic questions, and it's been my experience that for the most part, the artists that I reach out to are more than happy to talk candidly about their experience with the space. You know, they may tell me, the gallery director is new, but they are, they're fantastic to work with, and they're really receptive to feedback. And that's great information to have for when I'm just starting my own relationship out with them. The final point or thing that I do is, provided that I have someone in that area, I like to send a secret shopper to visit or scout out the space. This is really important because when somebody walks into a space, I want them to feel welcome. That's part of my own brand or the way I present myself online. It's very welcoming and warm, and I want to begin conversations, and I don't necessarily want to work with a gallery space that is a little bit more stuffy or not as welcoming. And so sending someone to physically walk through that space is going to give me, or help me gauge really what the atmosphere is like and how friendly the staff are, and how much time or space they give the viewer, their guests to view the work, how receptive they are to answering questions and that kind of thing. So when I can, I like to send a secret shopper into the gallery space as I'm considering joining their team. For me, an ideal gallery relationship is one where we are both on the same ground. The most successful spaces that I've worked with are those where I ultimately became friends with management and employees over time. And that spark of friendship was palpable from the very beginning. And I think that fosters a truthful relationship between both parties that becomes contagious when they're talking about my art. Clients pick up on the love or the energy that they have about me or my process or my imagery, and that is really contagious. It also requires a mutual respect for what each party can do. I understand that I'm one of many, I'm part of a one-to-many relationship from their standpoint, and they realize the same with regards to me and the other galleries, spaces, and collectors that I work with. I think one of the key components to a strong gallery relationship is clear and direct conversation, even on difficult topics. And that goes both ways. And I think it's easier to have a difficult conversation with another party when you realize that you both have the same end goal in mind. Both of us, both me and my gallery, we want to win. We want to sell art. We want to find collectors, right? That serves both of us. So having a difficult conversation about a particular aspect of that relationship is really important. It allows the gallery to see a certain perspective that I have that they may not be privy to because they're not the creator, right? They're packaging and bundling and talking it up, but they're not privy to the process and the evolution of the ideas and whatnot. So direct, clear communication, even on difficult topics, both ways. You need to also be receptive to hearing feedback, whether it's on your work, on your packaging or shipping of your work, or any aspect of how you speak about the gallery when you're cross-promoting, any of that. You need to be receptive, just like you expect them to be receptive. So a gallery might feel like a good fit at the onset, and it's really only after a period of time you may realize it's not working. So if this happens, talk to the owner about your expectations and ask for their opinion. See if there are any actionable items that you could identify that might shift things. And if this doesn't elicit results, review your contract for terms of cancellation and kindly ask for your work back. Let them know why you're leaving in a professional way. Something like, I know that you really believe in my work, but it just doesn't seem to have found the audience that we expected. So remember that even if the gallery is no longer actively representing you, they do have connections in their community and in the art world in general, and they're always there, or potentially there's always an opportunity for them to connect you with future opportunities. So even if a relationship doesn't work out in the immediate or in the moment, that doesn't mean there isn't going to be one down the road, or even that you might have a gallery owner as a reference for a grant application or a residency or some other future opportunity. So, to summarize everything that I've just said, really think about gallery relationship as an extension of your team. Don't go into it feeling like you are surrendering power when it comes to the marketing or the voice that comes with your work when it hits the market. Excuse me. Don't go into the gallery relationship thinking that you are surrendering or giving up any sort of power or control over your work. It is ultimately a team effort to sell work. You still have control over your creative process and what you deliver to them, but really just build upon this relationship. And you know what? In summary, a really good gallery artist relationship relies on clear communication, a true understanding of what each party is bringing to the table, and an honest listening of what the gallery needs. The gallery needs to honestly listen to what the artist is bringing, and a true assessment or understanding on the artist's part of whether or not they actually can, or what is literally involved in fulfilling the gallery's expectations with regards to quantity of work, as well as any other expectations like framing, delivery, appearance at events, etc. I think that gallery relationships have really amplified my own ability to find customers in different markets. I have a limited capacity myself to do marketing and promotion, because I'm also producing my work, right? I'm thinking about the art, I'm studying, I'm educating myself, I'm experimenting, I'm playing, I'm building pieces, I'm doing all of the inventory creation, and that's really where I want the bulk of my energy and focus to go. But I also really rely on my gallerists, and they are a huge valuable part of my team. And in today's world where traditional gallery relationships have really shifted from being the gatekeeper to the artist, I think now is the time to approach these relationships with an open mind and a professional mindset, and hammer out an arrangement, an agreement that is going to work for all parties. Because again, at the end of the day, we both just want to be selling artwork, right? We want the beauty that we make to find homes out in the world, and that we can absolutely do together. And feel free to also give me some feedback on topics that you'd like to see covered in future Business Bites. Thanks so much. Happy painting.